Good morning. Don't know me. My name is Irene Pritzker, and I am a very long-time member of the League of Women Voters in Greater Peoria. On behalf of the League, and I would like to welcome you to this forum for the City of Peoria Treasurer's race. We have 3 candidates who are running in this primary, and the top 2 vote getters will be in the general election. We appreciate everyone who has come out this morning and those who are joining us through our live stream on our YouTube channel. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan organization. We do not endorse candidates or political parties. We do take positions on issues after a lengthy study process. One of the missions of the League is voter education, and we do this in large part through candidate forums. We've been doing the forums for many years throughout the country. It's our way to have you hear directly from the candidates. So we hope you'll walk away from here today with a little more information about the issues here in Peoria and about the candidates themselves and help you decide how to vote online when you do vote. Early voting, I believe, has already started, and so you can do that at the Election Commission on Brandywine. The 3 candidates we have here tonight are Asya Washum, Brooke Sommerville, and Joe Montelongo, and they have drawn cards to see who would give opening statements first, and then they will rotate in answering questions. They have all signed agreements to do this with us today, and I will turn over the microphone now to our moderator, Connie Romanis.
To remind everyone to please mute their phones if they have it. If anyone needs a restroom, down the hall and to your right. Exits are pretty visible. And I just want to make one correction. I think we have Mr. Jim Montelongo with us today. I believe in just a moment I'll give you the opportunity to say your opening statement. My name is Connie Romanis. Irene said, and that be a moderator today. And as Mr. Montelongo got the high card, he will go first with his opening statement for 2 minutes.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Jim Montelongo. I am a former city councilman for 12 years. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters for putting on this event. Greatly appreciate it. I did bring some material with me. It's right over there on the desk. If you could please grab one before you leave today, I'd greatly appreciate it. So I'm very excited to be running for the treasurer's position because I love to serve our community just like I have for 12 years as a former city councilman. So the position requires a lot of training, experience, and education. I am a graduate with an MBA from Bradley University, where I studied accounting, finance, leadership, and strategic planning. I have 12 years on the city council, where for 12 years we went through this budget, line item by line item. I got a chance to work with all the different departments. I held monthly meetings with the public for 10 years, where I was open and transparent and available for any questions. I have 33 years of being a business owner and CEO. As it relates to the city or the treasurer's position, I created accounting systems where we would send out our invoices and have to collect our receivables. I want to take all these years of experience and training and serve you, the people. Thank you.
And now Brooke Sommerville will give your opening statement.
Good morning, everyone. I would first like to thank the League of Women Voters for the work that you do and for this opportunity for this forum. My name is Brooke Sommerville, and I am honored to be running for City Treasurer. When elected, my top priorities will be ensuring quality customer service and accessibility, always being responsive, responsible, and transparent, fostering collaborations, capitalize on savings, and creating checks and balances to safeguard taxpayer and city funds. I believe in responsible budgeting, collaborating to make smart investments, and open communication to make sure every dollar works for the benefit of our city and our taxpayers, which is most important. My passion is public service, and I am excited about the opportunity to create a stronger, more prosperous future for the city of Peoria. And I just wanted to let you know, I didn't stand up because I don't want to be taller than the camera. I'm sorry, I'm extremely tall. But thank you guys again for this opportunity.
And now we will hear the opening statement from Asya Washum.
Thank you. I'm Asya Washum, and I am running to be your next Peoria City Treasurer. I've been in Peoria for 7 years, and originally coming here from Atlanta, I had no idea what to expect. I even said once that I would never live in Peoria, Illinois. But coming here, what I found was community. What I found was friendship. What I found was transformation in myself. And because of that, I fell in love with Peoria, and I would like to take my love of Peoria and transmute it and translate it to actually serving this city. Peoria, a beautiful city, a place that I have now called home for me and my children, and a place that I want to see grow and thrive. But it is a place right now that is struggling. We have the situation with finding a homelessness solution for our unhoused community. We have a situation with businesses leaving our community, left and right. We have a situation that we have to rectify the police and firefighters' pensions by 2040. All of these things need solutions, and electing the proper people at the proper time will assist in making these solutions happen. A little bit about my experience. I have the pleasure of serving as a CFO of 2 local nonprofits, one managing 23 million, the other managing 2 million. I've been the treasurer of several nonprofits here locally, and I currently work at the Office of Fiscal Management, which is the CEO, analyzing and ensuring that funds are spent and accounted for appropriately. All of these skills I would bring to Peoria as your next city treasurer, and I look forward to serving you. Thank you.
Thank you for those statements. And just a reminder to our audience, we are taking questions in writing. If you need a card to write your questions down, Rob Parks will take care of that for you. And we appreciate any questions that you do submit. So we'll now start with the first question. This will go to Brooke Sommerville. And the question is, what prompted you to run for this specific position?
So I am not sure if you guys know, but back in 2021, I ran for city treasurer, and I came up short by a few votes to Mr. Stephen Morris. And there are things that have been done in the treasurer's office, but there's still more work that needs to be done. And with that, I mean that we need to form a system that is more transparent and easily understood by the public who reads these reports that are submitted by the treasurer. These reports have to be broken down so they can be easily understood, and that's something where I believe I can step in and do that. Currently, I'm the chief deputy in the Peoria County Clerk's office. I'm responsible for a $900 million budget, and I manage the employees in the office. I am responsible for the state statutes that come across the table and how they need to be implemented in our government. So, that is my answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who do you?
And then You will need to pass the mic.
To,
That goes to Ms.
Okay.
Washum.
All
And Ms. Washum, do you need the question?
Please.
What prompted you to run for this specific position?
I believe that Peoria needs and deserves a treasurer that is one to serve, that has sustainable experience. Like I said, I personally have managed $23 million. And so when we are talking about managing large amounts of money, in 2023, the city saw just under $250 million. That takes skill, that takes talent. We need somebody who has innovation, who has ideas, who has strategy, and who is ready to move the city forward. These are the reasons why I decided to run for Peoria City Treasurer and what I plan to bring to the office as your next treasurer.
And Mr. Montelongo, what prompted you to run for this specific position?
Sure. So I have a love for this community, and serving the community is something that I really like to do, just like I did when I was a city councilman for 12 years. The treasurer position is a very, very important position in the city. And today, I don't think it's doing all its roles that it could be doing. I know from the experience that I have that I'm a great match for this position. Once again, serving on the city council, you get a chance to learn everything that's going on in the city, and it is important to have the right leadership in that position. And that experience, the education, and my business experience as well, made me feel like I can do very well and excel in this position.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the next question will go to Ms. Washum. That is, what would you add to the public good if elected to this position?
So there are many things that I would add to the public good for this next position. Number one, bringing my experience. For the actual office itself, I want to bring transparency and accountability by making sure that the public that sees the information not only can see the data, but also understand what it means and the impact that it has on their actual dollars. The next thing that I want to bring is office functionality, improving it to make sure that we are operating in an optimal way, making sure that our processes and procedures are streamlined, and making sure that we are functioning appropriately. The next thing that I would bring to the office is maximizing city funds. As a former CFO, there is investments that you must do with the public funds because I worked at a nonprofit. And so leveraging the relationships that I have with bankers, ensuring the different information and knowledge base that I have will also bring that to the city. And then also, I have a sustainable solution for the problem that I named before. The homelessness, creating a strategy for that, creating a strategy where businesses can come and thrive, and then creating a strategy for that pension. I have all of that ready to go day one.
Thank you. Then it goes to Mr. Montelongo. What would you add to the public good if elected to this position?
So first of all, I want to make sure that we are collecting every penny that is owed to the city. Second, I want to reestablish the relations from the treasurer's office with all of the rest of the city hall. Third, I would like to be able to send out a semi-annual communicator to the entire tax-paying group so that they know what the status is of the finances inside our city. And I think the last one is I want to work on robust, efficient systems inside the treasurer's office. I had a meeting with the treasurer's office here not too long ago. I was happy to hear they welcomed me in, they helped share some stories with me. They told me I was the first candidate to come in 11 years to come and find out what they do there in their office. They told me there's one particular project that would help them, and that's integrating some systems to talk with the accounting, the main accounting system. So that will be the first project that I work on. There are many other small projects that I learned about by asking them lots of other questions.
Thank you. And Ms. Sommerville?
So first and foremost, I want to make this very clear. that the city treasurer is responsible for the administration and management of collection, okay? Verification and recording and depositing taxes, fines, and fees that are due to the city, okay? Now that is minus the real estate tax that we used to be responsible for collecting in the city treasurer's office. That is no longer the case anymore. That is collected in the county's office. There was a collaboration that was done to reduce the cost for the public, our taxpayers. Another thing that has now been changed and taken away from the city treasurer that they used to collect would be the fees that they receive for the parking tickets. That is no longer done in the city treasurer's office. That has gone over to the police. So a part of code enforcement is a department of the police right now. What I feel needs to be done in our treasurer's office currently, it needs to be more accessible and more transparent. Again, chiming in on the fact that, yes, there's reports that are due, that are according to statute that have to be reported on, but it has to be understandable to the public. And that is something that I will make sure is done. I will make sure that we are being responsive and we are being responsible and very transparent. The second thing is the integration of systems. There are 5 systems currently used in the treasurer's office: Tyler, Munis, Bridge Pay.
But you have the next question.
Yes, thank you.
So the question is, what successes have you personally initiated or enacted in your current job role that will make you successful in the city treasury role?
So with that being said, I think that we need to understand that the role of the treasurer, like I said, is to be the collector, right? With that, there are 5 employees that are in the office of the city treasurer. Two of those are non-union employees, and that would be the treasurer and the chief deputy, right? So the other are union employees, right? So there are certain rules and regulations that have to be followed. By that, I mean, these are the people that were hired with the skills to complete the tasks that are done in the treasurer's office, right? They are protected by the union, right? So the first thing that I would do when I come into office is assess the situation, assess what systems are working for us, assess what tasks that they are having trouble with, and then we would come together and we would come up with a plan to meet the problems and the situations that we are having setbacks.
And Mr. Montelongo, that question, what successes have you personally initiated or enacted in current or prior roles that will make you successful in the city treasurer role?
Sure. So being a business owner, I started a business from a kitchen table and built it up to a multi-million-dollar business a year. And doing that, I became very business savvy. As I mentioned earlier, I had to set up an accounting system where we could send out our invoices and as well track our collectibles, our receivables, and know how many days out they are. So that is a very important role in the treasurer's position. In addition to it, by using some of the things that I learned in my MBA, like balanced scorecard, and being able to build systems, put a time with each function and a cost with each function. These are the first things that need to happen. These are things that I have done. Looking at the treasurer's position, that would be one of the things that I do. When you take a look at it, you got to have knowledge and experience, and this is one of the things that I've done for the last over 30 years in our company. So that's some of the things that I would bring to the office.
And Ms. Washum?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So the question was, what have you done in your previous roles that are exemplary, is my understanding. And so based on that, what I have actually done is managed $23 million in assets. What I have actually done is safeguarded government funds to ensure that there was no fraud, waste, and abuse. What I actually have done was streamline internal controls to make sure that dollars were allocated appropriately, were budgeted appropriately, and then also any gaps in that, I made sure that they were fixed. In that process, what I've done is uncovered fraud and held people accountable. In that process, what I've done is ensure that finances were held in the most integral part, because these are actually tax dollars through government funds. What I've actually done is ensure that businesses can be sustainable going forward, because there is no waste with the money.
Thank you. And Brooke?
Yeah.
You have the next question. How can the Treasurer's Office help improve financial opportunities for underserved communities in Peoria?
So I believe as the treasurer, like I said, I gave you the roles that the treasurer, what their roles and responsibilities are. But what I can do is use my platform to get into the room and collaborate with leaders in our community to come up with solutions to some of the problems that our underserved population are, and some of them don't have a voice. So I would be the voice for those people. But like I said, we have to stay focused on the fact of what the treasurer actually does and the responsibilities of the treasurer, which are the collector. The collector.
Asya, you have the question. How can the Treasurer's Office help improve financial opportunities for underserved communities in Peoria?
So I do believe that the treasurer has a unique ability to serve and make the office accessible to underserved communities. As an advocate of financial literacy, as an advocate of somebody who does financial empowerment, I think that the treasurer could take that collection a step further and educate people as to how the money is moving, where the money is going, what that means for you, and how you can be engaged as a citizen to ensure that the funds and holding other elected officials accountable. I do also believe that the financial background puts me in a specific position where we actually have the opportunity to do something unique in Peoria, which will actually create opportunities for the less fortunate, in addition to education, affordable housing, and things of that. So being at the actual table with the skills, the knowledge, and the talent, you can create room for things to serve all of Peoria, which includes the underserved community.
How can the Treasurer's Office help improve financial opportunities for the underserved community in Peoria?
Sure. So as a city councilman, I mentioned earlier that I had monthly meetings with the public, and I would absolutely make sure that and make myself available for everywhere in our community. So I'm available to be able to answer questions and provide help to anyone who needs help. The treasurer's role is first and foremost able to, we're supposed to just work internally on collecting our money for the city and to manage our finances for the strategic plan and such. So if it lines up with our strategic plan, we got to find a way to connect with people in that capacity.
We are now in question 5, and that will go to Asya. Are there any new programs that you would pursue in the office to make it more efficient?
So I think with the 3 pillars of my candidacy, those will be encompassed there. So specifically in the streamlining processes, streamlining the processes in office functionality, that will ensure that the office is running optimally. Once the office is running optimally and ensuring that the processes are succinct, then we have the opportunity to foster collaboration within city council, foster collaboration within the community. So bringing the accessibility to the office where people can come and learn, grow, and actually be invested in our finances, I think will be a great change for the office. In addition to that, collaborating with city council and the other elected officials to actually develop a municipal bank within the city that will help to rectify many of the challenges that we are having, transforming our economy to thriving, and also giving us a way to rectify the 3 issues that I said are facing the cities right now, which is homelessness, and creating a sustainability model, Also rectifying the police and firefighters pensions, which has to be done by 2040, and also bringing businesses back.
And the next, Jim is the next one to respond. Are there any new programs you would pursue in the office to make it more efficient?
As I mentioned earlier, after meeting with the group there, putting together, well, first of all, I got to get the city council to approve budget money to integrate systems. So that would be the first thing to work on. In my conversations with them, I found out that another example, there was like $50,000 owed to the city, and it was probably because more of a contractual issue. So I think it would be important to kind of look through some of the contracts, look to find out what money is owed to the city. So those were two areas that I would definitely focus on.
And then to Brooke.
So currently, the treasurer's office is using numerous systems, right? So I believe that could be streamlined and condensed, that would make the monies and the funds easily trackable. The current systems that they are using are Tyler, Munis, DevNet, and BridgePay. Those are a lot of systems. Now, when we say what systems can we bring, we would really have to sit down at the table. We would have to sit down with, number one, the city council to get the budget, like you said, approved. And then you will have to sit down with the different vendors, to see if these systems can be condensed, right, and unified so that there's not a huge mix-up. Right now, the biggest issues that are in the office are there's too many systems being used to track these fees and funds that we are collecting. So that is something that I would step right in and make sure that is streamlined.
Thank you. And then Jim Montelongo will answer the next question. The city has both a finance department and office of treasurer that you are seeking. Why are they both needed? Would you encourage the council to consolidate finance duties to the treasurer's office or seek state legislation to allow elimination of the treasurer's office?
Well, first of all, the treasurer's office is one of the most important positions in our city, and you, the taxpayers, deserve to know what's going on in City Hall finance-wise. And this is what this position does. It's independent of the city council. City council is not the boss. The city manager is not the boss. The taxpayers are the boss. So it's important that you receive direct information from the treasurer on what's going on. So that's what I would focus on. And as far as working with the finance department, I think over the years, it seems to me that the treasurer's position has been diluted and the responsibilities have kind of been spread out to others. And there's an argument going on, why do we need a treasurer? I would just remind you, take a look at Dixon, Illinois, you'll find out why after like $54 million later, at the month, those funds were missing.
And then we'll go to Brooke.
So I would definitely say, and this is what I say to everyone when I'm asked, we need to understand that the financial department of the city, right, works for that organization, right? The treasurer's office works for the people. So there's a checks and balances that is there, that if we got rid of the treasurer's office, then that would not be of benefit to the taxpayers, which is who we are protecting by being the treasurer of the city. Like you said, the Dixon situation, once you start eliminating these offices, the transparency goes out the door, the checks and balances go out the door, all of that is gone. And then we're stuck, not being fiscally responsible for our taxpayer dollars. And that's what we need to do. So the treasurer's office is very important, very important.
So I will start with this. In finance, there's a concept of internal controls, which is essentially checks and balances. With that being said, having the treasurer's office be separate would maintain those internal controls and checks and balances. By giving authority to one body instead of having multiple checks, you actually create a situation where there is no verification of what's actually happening. The citizens and the residents will actually not know where the funds are going, and the treasurer's office is responsible for collecting, verifying, and ensuring that those funds are handled appropriately. So I would absolutely say, number one, the treasurer's office is needed. It is important for the city, and it is not something that needs to be taken lightly when the discussion of eliminating it happens. It must stay.
Thank you. And then the next question, we'll start with Brooke.
Thank you.
And that question is, how will you work with local legislators to address pension issues?
So, like I said, I would definitely be able to go to our local legislators. And the first thing that, we would sit down at the table, right? And we would see what the deficit is on both of these pension funds. We will I would do a collecting information to see and collaborate with people to see how we can save money and reduce the money that is going out to the firefighter and police pension funds.
Thank you. And then Asia.
So pensions are a very complex situation. And what makes it complex is not just actually rectifying the funds and ensuring the funds are allowable, it's actually accounting for the COLA, which is the cost of living that happens every year. So that is difficult to account for. And so one idea that I had to rectify the pension situation was to create a municipal bank. By creating a municipal bank in Peoria, it will give us opportunity to leverage funds at the state level, the federal level, to also bring in more money and capital through businesses to actually help us to rectify the pensions by the required deadline of 2040. This is something that is approaching us. This is something that has to be dealt with immediately and also strategically. And so I think by coming to the table with ideas, in which I have some information on the back table, kind of outlining what a municipal bank can do, I believe that that is a solution and something that should be very much so considered and enacted in the city.
Thank you. And then Jim Montelongo will have the next question. What is your approach to investing city funds? How will you balance financial returns with social and environmental responsibility?
I didn't get to answer this last question.
No, he didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You didn't answer the
He didn't answer the
I
last.
apologize. Thank you. Then the question for you is, how will you work with local legislators?
Yeah, so first of all, we have a $360 million pension that we have to pay, and 90% of it has to be paid by 2040. That is a lot of money. We can't cut our way out of this. This will consume our entire city budget. This is a financial emergency that we are under. I know there's some discussion to try and get it out to 2050, and hopefully that's a move that does happen. And I'm hoping maybe they come up with some other funding mechanisms, because we get these mandates down to the city on how we're going to be doing this. We can't cut our way out of this. We have to be focused on growth opportunities for our city. We have to help our current businesses grow and expand, and then if possible, get some others to start coming in here. But that's the situation that we're in. So yes, asking for some more time, looking for opportunities to increase more economics for our community. That's exactly what's needed.
Thank you. Next question will go to Asia. Just a moment. What is your first issue, most important issue that you will address when if you are elected to this position?
The first issue I will address is ensuring that the office is running optimally. I think that we can't really have an office that is functioning appropriately if we don't have an optimal system. So I think first, when you come in the door of any organization or any form of establishment, that you need to actually understand what's going on. And so getting to know the people, getting to know the processes finding solutions within that and also finding the challenges that we're currently facing. And then from there, developing a plan and strategic model that will suffice.
And to Mr. Montelongo.
Yeah, so absolutely focused on building a robust and efficient system inside our treasurer's office is a must. We have to focus on collecting every penny that is owed to the city. We cannot afford to let any of that be squandered. We need to make sure, for that example of the 50,000, I think it was even just in parking fees. So just think about how long that's been going on, and to build up to $50,000. We cannot let situations like that happen, and we need to focus on integrating our systems to make things efficient and very quality. If not, what you have is you have people typing in, they're looking at one system and then manually typing it into another, and there's a great chance for error. So we have to remove that that opportunity of losing money for the city.
Thank you. And then,
I just wanted to note that there is actually a municipal bank that we have that the city employees as well as the county are able to use, and it's the City Credit Union. I'm a member of that. But to say the first and foremost thing that needs to be done is to minimize the systems that are used, like to track the money that are coming into our office. There are too many systems, and I think that we have to be able to go to the vendors that we use for these different systems and see how well they can integrate. Me working in the county clerk's office, I can tell you that we have multiple systems and they don't always integrate well together. So it would be coming up with a system that can integrate and cause less work, less loss of information, loss of funds, like you said. If we can't track the different funds that these monies are going to, because of the systems are all over the place and there are too many, that is something that needs to be fixed and needs to be fixed quickly.
Can you repeat the question, please?
what is the biggest issue that you have?
We're shipping on 5, I think.
We started with you. Oh, no.
You led first, right?
What are the biggest issues that you want to address?
I believe I
Yeah.
answered.
Yeah. The next one, the next question.
And I have to say, I mixed them up. So,
Oh,
would you? Yeah, so just a moment.
okay.
Excuse me, just a moment. Yeah, I did answer the question.
Mhm.
Thank you. So that's concluding of the questions for today. We will now go to the closing statements, and you will have 2 minutes. And Mr. Montelongo, you will go first for this.
Sure. I am asking for your vote because I want to work for you, just like I did for 12 years being a city councilman. I am the most qualified candidate. Talk to you about my education and MBA, 12 years of serving on the city council, 33 years of a business leader and experience. And I just want to work for you and lead our community in the treasurer's office. Thank you.
Thank you today for your time and your questions. As your next city treasurer, I am committed to accountability, fiscal management, responsibility while ensuring that every dollar works for the taxpayers and the community in which we live in. Together, we can build a stronger, more sustainable future for our city. I humbly ask for your vote and the opportunity to serve you. Thank you, and bank on Brooke Petty Sommerville as your next city treasurer.
Thank you all for coming today. Thank you all for the League of Women Voters for having this and having the opportunity for the residents to weigh the different candidates. Based on what has happened here today, I believe that I am the best choice to be Peoria's next city treasurer. When we talk about experience is not just having time on a job, it's about effectiveness in that job. And so I would ask, when we talk about experience, that we talk about, is it actual experience or were you actually just in the role? When we talk about solutions and we talk about moving Peoria forward, it's important that we have top of mind of what actually is going to move this city forward. Is it going to be simply going along with the status quo? Is it going to be simply doing the things that have always been done? Or is it going to be moving in ways that move and solve the problems of the city as a whole? Through transparency and accountability, through optimizing the office functionality, and through maximizing the city funds, I, as your next treasurer, will ensure that we move the office forward. Through developing strategic ideas, and while we do have a credit union for city employees, we do not have a municipal bank. It is two very different things, and we want to make sure that when we are coming with ideas to solve these problems, that we actually have sustainable solutions to move the city forward. And for that, I ask for your vote to be your next city treasurer and move Peoria forward.
Thank you. And I'd like to give a round of applause to all of the candidates. I want to thank them, and this will be live streamed to the League of Women Voters Greater Peoria YouTube channel, so you can share that information with your friends, rewatch that. Don't forget to go out and vote. Early voting for the primary is already in progress. And I do want to just take a moment to acknowledge Mr. Terry Browning. He is running for the office of Township Auditor. And I just wanted to acknowledge him today. If anyone would have questions or want to speak with him after we're finished here, he may be around for just a few minutes. So, but that does conclude our event today. We're heading to the Lincoln Branch Library for Peoria Park District, Southern District Trustee, and then followed by the Peoria City Council District 1 candidate. So it's a busy day. Thank you all.
What about the question?